I always go the wrong way. These cameras are hard for this old brain. My left and right hemispheres are malfunctioning, I guess, huh? I saw a really good documentary over the weekend. It's on a channel that I subscribe to called Gaia. There's lots of yoga kind of stuff on there, but there's all kinds of other things too. And this was about the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, and asking why we need two halves of our brain. They have very different characteristics. There's a lot of really interesting things in there to ponder. So today we are going to wake up with some gentle back bendy kind of things. Gentle. So that's spinal extension. Spinal flexion is when you round forward. Anatomically, flexion generally means minimizing the angle between in a joint. So right now I'm flexing my elbow, and when I lengthen my arm, I'm extending it. The spine's a little strange because it circles, so you just have to trust me on this one. Extension is a back bend. Flexion is forward, rounding the spine, but then there's lateral flexion and extension because it's a circle. We're flexing and extending. But extension, gentle back bends in general, wake up the nervous system. So it's Monday morning. Let's wake up. Meet me back there on the mat. We'll start in a seated position. Start in Sukhasana, or whatever seated pose works for you, upright seated pose. I better adjust that camera or my head's gonna get cut off. I thought I had it all adjusted. That's better. So as you come to an upright seat, remember the spine, it's kind of divided into the vertebral column where the vertebrae are, the bones of the spine, into three parts. So there's the cervical spine, the neck, the thoracic spine, the rib cage spine, where all the ribs attach. And then there's the lumbar spine, the low back. Cervical spine has 7 vertebrae. They're small and meant to move a lot, so a lot of flexibility here. Thoracic spine has 12 vertebrae. A little tougher to move because the ribs are attached, but there's a reason behind that. There's some pretty delicate organs up here, heart and lungs, so we want to protect those and not be able to really squish them. Low back, lumbar spine, there are 5 of those. They're really big and beefy, meant to absorb shock and bear weight. Less movement available there. When we come into extension, that stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, which we also call fight or flight. And that sounds so aggressive, and it can be, but it's a way to wake yourself up. So we're going to use that today, or energize yourself. So midday, if you're getting into a slump, you can use some of these techniques. So imagine a cord coming down through the crown of your head, piercing the palate, the heart, the diaphragm, and finally leaving through the pelvic floor. And that axis is where you're centered around right now. So the spine will deviate from that axis in the gentle curves, but you can drop that plumb line right down the center of the body, the Shoshumna. And breathe. Nice neutral spine is where all movement should originate from. And think about all of the delicate structures that exit the spine, the nerves, the blood vessels. And in improper alignment, things are getting pinched already, and then we move and we just cause problems. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's inhale, reach up. On an exhale, we're going to start with lateral movement. So right hand comes down, left over. Let's just warm the whole spine up. Inhale, up and over. And exhale. Let's do 2 more each side. Last one. Now take your hands to your knees. We're going to flex and extend the spine. So cat-cow. I'm going to pull on my knees. Nothing's going to happen with my knees, but I'm going to let my pelvis come forward. So first pelvis, lumbar spine, and thoracic spine. Heart comes forward, and then the gaze lifts. Extension, spinal extension. Now round the back, cat back. Flexion. Let's do 3 more in each direction. Feel yourself rolling over the sit bones. Two more each way. And then back to a neutral spine. Nice and neutral. Line things up. We'll switch the cross of the legs. Now we need to twist. Warm that whole spine up. Those discs in between there are getting nice and squishy, mushy, getting all the waste products out and drawing fresh prana in. Let's twist to the left, so to the right. Let's bring the arms overhead and then take left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you. Alignment. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. Let's go to the second side. Inhale up and exhale, twist. One more each side. So the breath can help you manipulate energy as well. Your inhale, just like your back extensions, back bends, stimulates the sympathetic nervous system. So inhale and a little back bend, and that will wake you up. Exhale, draw the hands home to the heart. Meet me in tabletop. Let's play a little with spinal movement here. So we know cat-cow. Let's do a cow. Nice big spinal extension. Inhale. Waking things up. Round the back on an exhale. 2 more of these each way. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more each way. Tuck the toes, let's go right up into down dog. Now an inversion is calming to the nervous system, but remember we need a balance. So let's move here. Find some space and stretches. Loosen up those nadis, the rivers that the energy flows through. Reestablish the flow. Bend the knees a lot, bring your feet hip distance apart. Push the belly down onto the thighs, maybe even the low ribs. And then as you inhale, lift the sit bones straight up, reach the heels down, and breathe. Lift your gaze. We're going to take 2 big steps to the top of the mat. So great big ones. And as you arrive here, let's lift halfway. So neutral spine. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, swing your arms out and up. So you may think neutral spine, I was bent over. But folding at the hips, folding right here at the hip creases. Let's fold forward again, keeping the spine neutral without rounding the spine. And then pull the feet away from each other. Inhale, the arms overhead. Exhale, hands home to the heart. Inhale, swing your arms up. On an exhale, bring your arms into goddess. Let the palms face each other, elbows out. Now draw shoulder blades back. Lift the heart. Lift the gaze. A little soft bend in the knees. Nice extension. Wake up. And then exhale, the hands home to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Lift halfway. As you exhale, take the hands to the mat, step back and plank. With control, come to the belly. If you need to drop the knees to get there, do that. Keep the hands right by the armpits, elbows up. Broad through the front chest. Chin is tucked. Now we're going to let the heart lead the way, forward and up, little baby cobras. So nice little back bends. Let's do 4 more of these. I've got 2 more. Last one. Let's hold. Hover the hands, just float them right above the mat. Maybe the feet lift off a little bit. That adds to the extension. Now we're extending the legs. We're reaching backwards with the legs. 2 more breaths here. And bring the feet down, the hands down, press up into table. And right away, step the right foot forward between the hands. Let's rise up and a kneeling lunge. Reach forward and then up. Roll the little fingers towards each other. Then lift the heart, lift the gaze. Maybe you shift forward and down with the hips. Drawing your right foot back, bringing your left knee forward. Without anything moving, you're just engaging muscles. Feel this nice heart opener, this nice back bend. And then on an exhale, bring both of the hands to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot off to the right. Externally rotate the toes. Let's do some hip circles here. But nice and slow. Find range of motion. And feel the muscles as they contract and stretch. And then come to stillness. Wrists are right under shoulders to begin with, so kind of a modified lizard. If you feel you can go a little deeper, you can either bend the elbows and work your way down, or walk the hands forward, working your way down, or maybe even come to the forearms. Blocks can be useful. If you're down on the forearms, bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra and rest your forehead on your thumbs like a little kickstand. And breathe up and down the spine. If you're ready for a little more, tuck the toes of the left foot, lift the knee, really sink down with the hips. Breathe. So if you've lifted the knee, notice the contrast, what we're doing with the legs. So that right leg, the forward leg, we're stretching through the back of the thigh, the hamstrings. And the left leg, we're really kind of stretching in to the hip flexors, so more the front of the thigh. Getting a little stretch in the hand or in the calf muscle too, because we're on the ball of the foot. 2 more breaths here. Now float that knee down if you lifted it. Come back up on your hands. I'm going to take my left hand under my left wrist, take my right hand to my right knee. Twist a little here, nice neutral spine. Remember your axis, then reach up with that arm, lean back a bit. Open through the chest, breathe. Unwind, heel toe the right foot back in front of the right hip. Let's step back in downward facing dog. Move here if it feels good, and eventually work your way to stillness. Let your head hang now. Shake your head yes, so releasing the neck. Big yes shake. Then let the head, the crown of the head hang towards the earth. And on your next exhale, drop your knees, coming to table. Bring that left foot forward between the hands. Rise up. Swing your arms forward and up. Roll those little fingers towards each other. Then lift the heart, lift the gaze. Maybe you sink forward and down. Keep the hips engaged. And sometimes it feels good to add some flow here. So going back and forth. nudging the spine into waking up. Gently. Nobody likes to wake up abruptly. And then we'll hold. If you've been moving with me, just hold that back bend. And notice the energy, the emotions here. Heart's lifted, gaze is lifted. This is in a very receptive, vulnerable, energetic position. Now bring both hands to the inside of the left foot. Heel toe the foot off to the left. Externally rotate the toes a bit and do some hip circles. And then come to stillness, working your way into a modified lizard. You can stay here. You can bend the elbows. You can walk the hands out or even come to the forearms. Notice, just for interest, compare how this side feels versus the first time when we were on the other side. And again, if you want some more, tuck the toes of the right foot, lift the knee, and then wiggle your way down into the pelvis a little more. Really push into those elbows. If you're on your forearms, support your shoulders. 2 more breaths here. And then drop the knee. Bring the palms to the mat, heel toe. Let's come up and down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Sit bones straight up. Now look forward. 2 great big steps to the top. On an inhale, lift and lengthen. Halfway up. Exhale, fold. Soften the knees a bit. Pull your feet away from each other. Inhale the arms out and up. And exhale, hands home to the heart. Let's shoot the prayer straight up again. And come into a little back bend here. Once you start the back bend, then open the arms into goddess. Let the palms face each other. Let the elbows be heavy. Opening the chest. And then exhale the hands home to the heart. Inhale, swing your arms up. Exhale, fold. Lift halfway. And now as you exhale, take the hands to the mat and do your best to jump back into plank. It may take a couple hops, like it takes us a couple hops to get into from down dog to the top of the mat. Do your best. And come to the belly. This time let's go a little higher with our back bend. So maybe a high cobra. Tuck your chin. Maybe the hands slide a little further down on the ribs. Heart leads the way forward and up. Keep a little bend in your elbows. And then come back down. 4 more of these. Remember the head. So unfurl. And then you're tucking the chin as you go down. 3 more. That was my elbow. I don't know if you could hear it pop. It was loud. 1 more. And this time we'll hold. Of course, you can't float the hands. So I want you to roll your outer thighs out and down. Check on your hands. Are you pressing into the thumb and the base of the index finger? Are you breathing? Now from here, tuck the toes and go right up into down dog. Now let's try jumping forward. Bend the knees. Big leap of faith here. Up to the top of the mat. On an inhale, lift halfway. On your exhale, fold. Pull the feet away from each other. Swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Let's step back with the right foot. So way back there. Turn the feet so we're in Prasarada. Pinky toe edges of the feet to the short edges of the mat. Take your hands to the hip creases. Draw the elbows towards each other. Lift the heart. Lift the gaze. Nice back bend here. Now fold forward. Notice the spine will move from extension to neutral, and then just kind of hang. Bring the fingertips to the mat so the wrists are right under the shoulders or in that general direction. And let's shake the head yes now. Releasing the cervical spine. And shake the head no. Now reach out for your big toes. So lasso your big toes with your peace sign fingers. Lift the heart a bit here. So you're going to lift and lengthen. And then pull yourself a little further down in this. You can always keep your knees bent a bit. So again, we're in a head down position, an inversion. This one's calming to the nervous system. But we need that balance, yin and yang. Now walk your fingertips forward again. And let's turn the toes out just a bit. So 11 and 1 o'clock. Let's take a little side lunge, little skandasana. You decide how deep you go in this. There's a lot to play with here, so see if you can keep the feet flat on the floor. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe you can go a little deeper every time. And come back to center. Prasarada again. I'm going to walk my hands to the top of the mat, so I'm going to have to spin my feet. I'll arrive in a lunge. And my right foot's back there on railroad tracks and on the ball of my foot. Inhale, rise up. Bend the back knee. Tuck the tailbone. Soften the front ribs. Stay open through the front chest. Then maybe you straighten that back leg a little bit. Swing your arms forward and up. Little fingers come towards each other. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. High crescent lunge, but I always like goddess arms. It just keeps my chest more open. I'm swaying right now like I'm on a boat. Breathe. And on your exhale, frame that foot. Step back in plank. Come to the belly. Now tuck your hands underneath you. So look at the side camera. I'm going to slide palm up. So your palms end up kind of on your thighs. Tuck your chin. And we're going to lift the upper half of the body. So half of a locust pose. And exhale down. Peel the back muscles. Bringing the spine into extension. Let's do 3 more. And on this last one, again, we're going to hold. As you hold, lift the legs too. And breathe. Nice deep belly breath, and you'll kind of rock here a little bit. Push into the belly, rock yourself. 2 more breaths. Untuck the hands, bring the hands by the armpits, push into plank, and right away to down dog. Bend the knees a lot, big leap of faith. Let's jump to the top of the mat. Arrive on an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Swing the arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Now we're going to step back with the left foot. Once again, finding Prasarada. Check your feet out. My feet oftentimes end up not in line with each other when I step back from the top like that. So swing your arms up this time. Bring the hands behind you. Lace your fingers, soften the elbows. Draw the elbows back. Push the knuckles down, and then lift the knuckles away from the sacrum. Now lift the heart, lift the gaze, and fold forward at the hips. Bring the head down, and the knuckles up, and breathe. Now release the hands to the mat, and a little extra rotation of the toes again, coming back into Skandasana, but play a little bit here. Maybe you can come into a full side lunge and not support yourself with your hands. And then go to the other side. And maybe you can make that shift without touching the floor. I'm not there. Or you can do that same fluid back and forth. One more. And then just walk on the hands, find your way to the top of the mat. We're going to come up in a lunge now. So left foot's back there on the ball of the foot. On railroad tracks, rise up. Arms forward and up. Goddess arms. Feel the back bend. See if you can let the mind travel along the path of the spine. Checking for smoothness. No hinging in the spine, like chunks. Smooth, smooth, smooth back bend. And then exhale. Frame the foot. Let's come to the belly and find crocodile. Knees and feet are wide, hip distance or mat distance apart. I'm bumping into my furniture back there. And then shift and sway the shins side to side. I gotta watch what I'm doing. You can bring your forehead to the back of your hands and then release the shins down. Let everything go. And breathe. Every exhale, you release something else. I love to do this. So if you focus, and if that's your task in the moment, the exhale is to find places. And you'll find so many pockets that don't feel tense until you notice they let go. Like little hidden places of tension. And now press yourself into table. Get your blocks and just get them up here where you can reach them. Come up on your knees. I'm going to tuck my toes. Nice neutral spine to begin with, so feel those curves. Maybe even take the pelvis and do a little pelvic tilting here, and then find neutral. I'm going to take my hands, so the heel of my hand is on top, to my low back, and my fingers are pointing down the glutes towards the mat. Elbows are bent, so I'm going to draw them towards each other, and then lift the heart, lift the gaze. Find a nice back bend here. Keep tone, especially in the cervical spine. Don't let the head just flop back there. Keep the elbows reaching back. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, rise up. Let's swing your arms out and up. And exhale the hands home to the heart. Let's come down to table and do a cat. So kind of a counter pose. So round the spine. Back to neutral. Round the spine. Maybe a nice cow here. Nice controlled back bend. And then rise up on the knees. So we're going to come into camel pose. Ustrasana, I think it's called. So if you can come into that back bend and hang on to your heels so the hands come back to the heels. That's where we're going, but I'm going to put some blocks back there. This is never the easiest pose for me. So lengthen through the crown of the head. So we're starting in that nice elongated neutral spine, and then reach back, keeping the chest open. I've got my hands on blocks, and then I'm finding my heels. Nice deep back bend. And then on an inhale, rise up. Let's come back and do a couple of cat poses. Little counter pose. 2 more cats. Maybe tuck the chin a little more. So from neutral to flexion. And then cross the ankles behind you, and let's come to a seated position. Walk the feet wide, left and right edges of the mat. Open the chest, reach behind you, fingers point forward. Let's just lift into kind of an upside down table here with knees wide. Keep the gaze forward towards the knees. So we're in a neutral spine with flexion of the cervical spine. And then down. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale up. And exhale down. 1 more. Bend your elbows. Let's windshield wiper the shins. Add a nice little twist. Now let's come over onto the right with our knees. We'll come up in our modified pigeon pose. Adjust on that right sit bone. If you're like me, you need to get those hamstrings out of the way. Now my shoulders are square, parallel with that right shin. I'm going to lift up and fold forward. Block can be nice here for your forehead. And then rise up, bend the knees, draw the heels towards you. Now take the hands above the right thigh, fold forward here. So we're twisting. Again, a block can be nice under the forehead. So keep the hips reaching back. Even though that left sit bone has lifted off the mat, keep reaching in that direction and then kind of wrap that spiral up to the shoulders, and now I'm kind of reaching out and down with my left forearm. You can even reach a little further forward. And then rising up, we'll take full pigeon if you want to come into it with me from this shape, or you can go back to the modified pigeon. I'm going to extend the left leg back. I just come so much deeper into this pose by doing it this way. Folding forward here, finding a place for the forehead. And releasing into this shape. And then rising up. Let's take everything to the second side. So make sure your block goes over here with you. On the left, legs are in 90-degree angles. Adjust, shoulders parallel with the shin, and then float up and over. And I always, especially on this side, my hamstrings just get kind of hung up on my sit bone, and then if I adjust, I can feel them slide by and come down. And then coming back up, coming into deer, bend the knees. Hands to the top of the left thigh. Folding forward here, keeping this right sit bone reaching back and down. As you fold forward, supporting the head, then the right arm can come long. Getting that nice twist, that nice stretch along the right side. And then swinging into pigeon. I'm pigeoning that front shin. I have my knee deeply flexed. That's just where I'm at in pigeon. But if you are built different than me and you can bring the shin forward without forcing anything, if it feels good, you can bring your shin even like back to that 90-degree angle. But this is where I'm at. If you're like this, point your toes. If you're more in a 90-degree angle, flex the foot to protect the knee. And then inhale, rise back up. Now keep your legs like this, but I'm going to bring my right leg forward, shifting into Janu Shirshasana. Right leg's forward, left knee is bent. I'm going to tuck the foot. Lifting up high, neutral spine. Throwing my chest forward. Crossing my wrists. I'm bringing my nose down towards my knee. And breathe. And then rising up, reach down there for that foot and see if you can extend the leg. Keep the arms as plugged in as you can, so you don't let the straight leg just pull those arms out of socket. Keep tugging back. It's a little game of tug of war, I guess, with the foot, the leg and the upper arms. Now we'll come into Sukhasana with the right shin forward. Adjust on the sit bones. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, float forward. Take your hands to the mat. Pull the carpet towards you. Feel that. Tip your pelvis forward and then fold into this. Any amount. Again, a block can be nice under the forehead. Now walk your hands to your right. This time push the mat away. The lower back will round a little bit. That's okay. You get a nice stretch back there. And then walk the hands over to the left. Push the mat away again. And then come back up. I'm going to change my shins, but I want to come into Janu Shirshasana. So now my left leg's long and my right knee is bent. I'm going to tuck my right foot. Hips are square, shoulders are square with that short edge of your mat. Long spine, inhale, exhale, fold, cross the wrists. Nice pull, gentle. You feel this stretch in the hamstrings on the back of the left leg. Bring your nose down towards your knee. And then rising up, uncross the wrist, but reach down there for the foot. Let's see if you can lean back. Keeping the arms plugged in. Work to straighten the leg. Now bend your knee, and we're going to come into Sukhasana with the left shin forward. Kind of rock around on those sit bones. And before we fold into this, take your thighs, and we're going to externally rotate the thighs. So spin the thighs out, and you might feel a little more opening in the hips. You can even take the calf muscles and spin them out too, making a little more room in the knees. Sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, folding forward. Bring the hands to the mat, to the carpet, and then pull them towards you. Let that tip your pelvis forward, and then fold a little deeper. You can support your head with the block. And then let's walk our hands over to the left, but now we're going to push away. As the heart comes forward and down, keep pushing, send the sit bone back and down. Breathe into the right back. And over to the right. Push away, send your sit bones down, send your heart down. And then come back up. Lean back. Extend the legs wide. Upavista Konasana. Heels are stuck to the floor. Now pull them towards your knees. Will lift. Feel the pelvis tilt forward. Feel the release in the low back. And then fold from this place. So you're not straining the low back as you're folding forward. You're getting this nice stretch in the inner thighs, the adductor muscles. And you can support the head here as well. You can even reach out for your toes. Pulling on those feet again, keeping the arms plugged in. And then release, come back up. Bend the knees. Grab the toes. And see if you can balance on the sit bones, kind of in a seated happy baby. And then maybe you work to extend the legs long, any amount. Try to keep the pelvis tilted forward. Heart lifts a bit, so a tiny bit of a back bend here. One more breath. And then release. Go ahead and lie down on your back. Once you get back there, walk your feet wide to the left and right edges of the mat. Do a little windshield wipering there. Anything else that might feel nice as you settle into your shape for Shavasana today. We had several back bends, energizing the nervous system, but then balancing with some gentle head lower than heart inversions. We need both. We need our entire nervous system. We need both kinds of energy and understanding how we can use breath, how we can use movement to help bring balance. And when I say balance, Monday morning, we need a little more waking up. We need to balance. We were too far, perhaps, into the yin energy. We need to level things out. Using the back bends and the breath hopefully helped with that. Settle in here for a few moments of stillness. Allowing the breath to be in its natural state. No effort here, no effort in the breath, no effort in the physical body. Let it all go. And let your mind go wherever it wants. Just let it go. Let it go. Just follow it around. Where is it going? Just witness. Begin to deepen your breath in a big way. Big breath. Open the mouth and let it go. Wiggling, stretching. Do what you need to do. Take several breaths here. Your own journey back up to a seated position. Take your time. The Sanskrit word bhavana, bhav means mood. What kind of mood do you want today? And that's contagious. What kind of mood do you want? What kind of bhav do you want to present to the world today? Let's reach up together one more time. Grab what you need. Grab it and bring it home to the heart. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. I will be back in August. Wednesday, 7 a.m. I think it's the 4th. It's that first Wednesday. And then the first Friday, I'll be back for yoga. Have a great day. I'll see you in August.